kind of talking about the genre film and European genre film, you said, Stephen, you organise a festival as well. How important do you feel it is to have festivals like Mayhem, like Fanomenon, and the others around the country to promote this kind of cinema?
Well, I think it's kind of key, and it's becoming more and more important. As a kind of filmmaker as well as a festival organiser, I think it's great that there are a growing number of especially genre film festivals in this country, because it means that for filmmakers and for audiences, there's a chance to put genre films on that may struggle to get a full cinema release in this country just because of the nature of cinema releasing in this country at the moment. Mm-hmm. And I think it's really key for, like I said, for filmmakers and for audiences, like to have that opportunity to see stuff in a cinema amongst an audience.
I remember particularly with Abattoir, which was the first festival to take us, I felt everything was riding on it. To be honest, I felt there was a real opportunity for me to watch the film, in front of an audience of people who didn't know me, because I made it with my friends in mind, really, as an audience, I guess. So it was incredibly important for a number of reasons. Mainly because the effort it goes through to make a film is amazing. That someone would be willing to screen it, and Abattoir was our first opportunity, and we've had lots of opportunities since. We screened here last year, which was, again, just a really amazing experience.
Well, I tell you what I think is really important. In the 1980s, we lost control of the process of naming. They put this name, the Video Nasties, on us, and it took 5-7 years to get back that name. So, okay, you called them that, we'll enjoy them as that. Mm-hmm. And that was a process of reclaiming. What I find really interesting, taking part for the first time as a judge in a festival like this, is seeing how fluid the notion of genre is becoming, precisely because of the work of festivals. People are working at bending it, breaking it, twisting it, combining it, sometimes producing pure genre things like the one we've given the Shorts Award to, just pure science fiction, but great, because in a way, to me, what was so good about that was that said, let's go all the way back to the 1950s and the EC horror comics. That's what that records. It's playing that story game. So people are finding new connections, rebuilding old histories. But we're doing it. It's not our enemies who are doing it. And that's what's really important to me about a festival like this.
One thing we have noticed this year with the selection, one thing you said there was earlier about the definition of genre almost being kind of subverted, and it now becomes quite encompassing of a lot of different things. And this year we've actually seen a lot of kind of social realism films, things like Kidnap, things like Savage, where it's actually moving away more from the fantastical horror to almost things that people can relate to. This could happen to me, or what if this happened to me? I was just going to ask you again, Mark, do you think that that's a reflection of maybe what's happening kind of socially around us at the moment? Is it reflecting kind of the economy, or just kind of the things that people are scared of in real life, and it's tapping into that?
I'd like to believe that's true. I think it's probably quite selective. Mm-hmm. I'd love to feel that filmmakers were having the courage to say, we want to make a commentary on the world. I think it's more mixed than that. I think the best of the films, and the ones that we'll remember for the next 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 years, will be the ones that had the courage to say, whether I do it perfectly or not, I want my film to be a discussion about the world we're moving into. I want it to be relevant to where we're going. The ones that just say, well, it's entertainment, we'll enjoy them on the night. And we've watched some films that have been hugely enjoyable on the night. But you go away thinking, I had a smile on my face, but hey, there's nothing left. Mm-hmm. I think the best of the films leave you with a residue that you want to go away and think about and discuss with other people.
I think it's one thing, it's very true of genre fans, that they are incredibly forgiving.
Yeah.
And they will, as you say, seek things out because they're looking for the next great film. But if they don't find it, it's like, okay, well, that was a disappointment, but that's not going to stop me kind of seeking out the next one. And I kind of feel that genre films, maybe more than other film fans, kind of are disappointed more than they do find the one that really works. But I love the fact that it's like, well, we don't care. We're going to keep on. We'll just keep waiting for that next.
There's always the anticipation of the film, and that can always be as much fun. Even if the film's disappointing, the anticipation of a film you can't wait to see. It's so much part of the journey, and I've been taking that journey since I was 6, and I still lose sleep over the next Steven Spielberg movie that's coming out.
I also think with genre films, one of the things that I feel about it is that genre films are very much ideas led, and I think because of that, audiences don't, especially genre audiences, horror audiences, don't really care about budget. They're much more forgiving of stuff that's made on a low budget, and they're much more forgiving of stuff that whether lighting or sound or acting or any element might not be the best that it could be. If it's got good, strong ideas in there, that's what gets them.
Just to finish off, I mean, the festival, right across the board, not just Fanomenon, but in all the sections, focuses mainly on feature films. But within the Méliès competition, we do have the nomination for the Méliès d'Or for short films, which obviously we think it's really important that short films are recognised. I was just going to ask all of you, how important do you feel that short films are recognised and are given that opportunity to be seen alongside the features?
I think it's really important because the short film is where filmmakers start, and they want to move on, they want to make features, and I think to have that encouragement, I was essentially an experimental phase of their careers, hopefully, is really important, and to see. I mean, I never really had a short film play on a cinema screen, so but I really wanted to so badly, and I'd send my little movies off, and they wouldn't get in anywhere. But it was always kind of really, the idea of seeing it, the idea of being accepted in that way, to see the film with an audience, is such a valuable experience when you're making your shorts. And I think that and the films that we got to watch, I mean, I thought they were amazing. I really enjoyed every single one of them.
Of the shorts. And I think Mark's right. The good thing about it is that when you're starting out and when you're making short films, part of the process and the sort of final part of the process is getting them out in front of an audience and seeing what and it's really valuable to sit there with an audience and to watch your film, even though it's terrifying and horrible the first time you do it, but to see it with an audience and to kind of see their reaction to it and to talk to people about it and to see it but up against other short films and to see how it fits within that kind of landscape, and it's where you as a filmmaker learn what you like.
I'm very much with Mark and Steven on this. I think they're fantastic to have in competition. I think it is a way in for young filmmakers. But I'd add the caution that I reckon only about 1 in 50 is worth growing from a short film to a feature film. And that, I think, is the danger, that people think, just do the same next time, but do more of it. Actually, the best short films are ones which are so nicely encapsulated. They're like a nice, tight little idea, filled out to fruition, and you don't need more of it. If you're going to go on, you've got to work and have the bigger idea that you want to develop and spend more time on.
There can be great short films that are a minute long, 5 minutes long, 3 minutes long. It's just, I think it's an art form in itself, making short films. It's like the difference between short stories and novels. It's they're in a way kind of two different beasts, and you've got to be aware of what you can do within the limitations of both. It's not as though one is just like a mini version of the other one, because in terms of pacing, in terms of narrative, in terms of structure, they're different kind of beasts.
Just finally, I can just ask you, how have you found your experience being on the jury and of Leeds and the festival?
It's my first time in a jury as well. I've had a lovely time, but I'm kind of quite worried that I was well. These two guys have kept me sane in a way, because I worried that I was a poor choice for a jury member, because I just like a lot of the films I see anyway. But it's nice to at least find a couple of guys who we weren't shouting at each other or flipping tables over, having tantrums. It was less a debate, more discussion really when it came to the films that we chose. It was really nice to find like-minded guys, and it was like a really pleasant experience.
No, it was really enjoyable. I think that, we gave it each film a good long discussion, and we kind of I feel like we took it seriously, and we've watched all of the films, and we debated them, but we've had a great time being in Leeds, and it's been you feel a bit of kind of weight of kind of responsibility though when you show
Yeah,
because you kind of so you watch them with this kind of quite weird kind of judgmental kind of eye. So we're probably being kind of slightly more harsh on films than we would be as kind of general viewers, just because you're invited to be in that kind of mindset. But it's good to be in a situation where the three of us are sat down and discussing how the films work and what they do to us, and just having that kind of articulated kind of response to them.
See, I got a great deal of comfort from knowing that you two guys would make the right choice, so I'd be alright.
Well, to turn the thing around, I was really appreciative of you two guys putting up with an old codger like me, because I spent all my life analysing films rather than appreciating them. And actually it's a different kind of activity, and it's been really fascinating for me to have to say what makes a really good, worthwhile film, rather than how did it work, what's its argument. They're not disconnected, but they're not the same either, and I found it really fascinating to do.
Just finally, just to say thank you so much to all three of you for giving up your time and spending most of it sitting in a dark room.
No, it's been awesome.
It's been great.
It's awesome.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for having us.